So this is the second part of the analysis that we have on the Odyssey for Wednesday's exam, I believe it is. So we skipped a bit. So the bit that we skipped is about how Nausicaa has now got permission from her parents, and she has a wagon now. She's got all the delicacies and the wine in the goat skin. She's got the liquid olive oil in her golden flask. So again, showing their wealth, prosperity, the care that she has from her parents. Again, emphasising the close-knit family. So now we're on the brink of Nausicaa reaching the river where she's going to clean her clothes with the maidens, obviously. And we have to look at this in a lot of detail. There's a lot of undertones that are going on here. So firstly, so the fact that she's on her own at the beginning foreshadows how important she's going to be in the future. So, as this extract goes on, the extract that we're studying, as it goes on, shows how important she's going to be, and we'll see that sooner. So let's start doing some analysis here. So Rune here, that is, the river, so that's very beautiful. So it's here, just here, comes from Kalos, here, fine, beautiful, again, nice use of descriptive language. The use of, right, here we go, so we're getting into the more interesting bits now, where we start talking Epitanos. So again, this is almost full, so it shows, how this river that they've reached, it's abundant almost, it's ever full. So again, showing that life that's there, it's beautiful. This area, this community, Shadi, has very beautiful nature. It's got very, lovely environment. It's got beautiful rivers flowing everywhere in nature, and that's the whole point of what Herman's trying to paint this picture of. He depicts a picture of a nice community, nice little village here we've got, and it's really beautiful. So we've got also. So the interesting word here he uses, where is it now? It's in line 91 I've got down here, yes. Melanudo. So that is basically the dark water. So it's the dark water which they've gone to and they're taking their clothes to use. So this dark water is almost, it's not dark in the sense that it's evil, it's more dark in the sense that it's very deep. So deep water is much darker. It gives a very melancholy tone to the whole phrase, and it makes us, reflect on quite a lot of what's happened so far. So it's the dark water, a special emphasis on melan there. It's melancholy as well. You can talk about there, very dark and deep. Deep analysis there. What goes on there? So Straban, which is where they are trampling on the water effectively, so they're not the water, the clothes obviously. So we can also look at line 88. So I think this is line 88. Yes. So why are the the maidens and Nausicaa themselves doing this? So why are they going to the river? So we know that's to clean the clothes. Another question that I've got here is, what distinction is used in line 88 to 90? So we've got men there. So the girls, they release the mules and then they let them go alongside the swirling river. So the reason that there's a distinction here is because first they release, on one hand they're releasing the mules, however they are also letting them to, it's freedom, letting them go along the swirling river, grazing on this grass, and then they themselves are taking clothes from the wagon. So there's a nice little, there's contrast there. Right. So Pacific ideal is obviously the abundant water. So everything in Shadi is abundant and plentiful. In Book 7 we hear of King Alcinous, an orchard which is always bountiful, though not tended by human hands. Yes, that's quite a... And also the use of Stabon here. So Stabon is basically treading on, so they're treading on the clothes to clean them, and what they're doing is vying for rivalry. The male suitors are going to be watching them treading on clothes, and they'll be attracted by the ones who do it best. Okay, there are also females in this world, which Homer portrays. Obviously in Odysseus there's quite a few examples of what goes on. The roles of men and women. So good theme in this this epic, really. And the way that he uses Stabon is interesting language, treading on, but it's cleaning them differently. It makes a more vivid, very vivid depiction of what they're doing. And also Panta here is an emphatic position, so it shows that they're doing everything, cleaning them all and everything, and again, abundance, that sense. Yeah, I think that's everything that we can cover in this little bit, really. So, just to sum up again. So, girls from good families are never allowed to be alone. So, it's the fact that she's with her maidens at this point. So, the use also of the honey sweet grass, which we covered, so that's earlier on. And I think the real purpose of that is to show again the utopia of what Homer is describing as the Sherian, the pastoral ideal, ideal of the Sherian community and their, their land. It's again, it's a beautiful area. It's a utopia. Yep, on that bit, that is mainly everything that we can see. Right, let's go to the next bit. So this is Nausicaa and the maids when they have, they've cleaned everything and they're leaving it on the side to dry. They take their food, they bathe themselves obviously first, ritually anointing themselves with oil, and then they take their food, they eat it, they've had their fair share of food, they start playing with the ball. Nausicaa is referred to as White Autumn, then we begin to learn more about Artemis, who she's compared to. So, what's really going on here? So, Melista is important because it is, again, showing how fitting this place is. It's not just any random place, it is so important to what Homer's trying to tell us. So the sea especially, dashing against the land, the sea especially washes the pebbles. And because it does that, it shows, how much of a cleansing area this is. This is perfect for washing their clothes. Yep. Also, line 95, use of grammar here. So it's a concessive or consequential clause. So this means that it is a lot more, there's a lot of, good argumentation that Homer is using here, and by using this he strengthens the clause, and he really does allow us to understand that when they do, leave their clothes next to the sea and wash up the pebbles, like this concessive clause shows us that they do all these things. They've come here, they've found a beautiful place, and it's all coming together at once. Like it is a very traditional story, a fairy tale almost like, and it's really good use of the concessive here. Two aorist participles in line 96. So here and here, close juxtaposition of them. So that's important because obviously when you're using aorist participles, it shows that they have followed their plans and what they're intending to do. and also the reason with that is because this means that they get their things done, you know, they've followed everything, they've successfully done what Athene has wanted them to do. You know, so it also confirms the power of the divine. You know, it could show how, I guess, really, you know, how important they are to the plan. You know, how it's all coming together finally. Thalassa, C, emphatic position there. There's another emphatic position, I believe. And yes, which is here especially. So how they're very thorough. So we've also got another, you know, bit of emphatic position with the use of bright. Just try and see if you can find where bright actually is in the text, because, you know, being able to identify these different things is very important before I tell you. Okay, so if you've had a go, you should be able to identify, and it was here. Okay. End of the sentence, you can see here. Again, a great use of EP, emphatic position, and that shows again the bright light. It really does show the bright light of the sun, and it's so important to what Homer is trying to. Again, this is all about the ideal of the Sharian community and the abundance of nature, the great environment. This is all about that. You know, it's all about the prosperity of Nausicaa, her family, you know, how important she is, how the divine power is working, how, you know, the beauty of Sharia, you know, and its rivers, and its nature, the presence of the divine, Odysseus, you know, as we get later on. But, you know, there's so much to talk about. You know, if you really delve into what's going on here, there's so much to talk about. There is a lot. Again, another emphatic position here. So this is, again, where Nausicaa is singled out. So she herself and her companions. So that is effectively where Kai Alter is. So here, she herself is closely juxtaposed, so there's in German, between her maidens here. So her female companions, they are grouped together. She is singled out. She is shown to be different. She is, because the reason she's different is because Athene chose her. You know, she's part of the greater plan to bring Odysseus home, and that is very important. And we go on to see this, you know, when we see there is a very subtle, okay, there's a very subtle erotic undertone here. So just here, when we get to, where is it gone? Here. Yes, Credemna. Very subtle, but there is erotic undertones here. So this is where they throw off their veils. So, you know, they're now basically exposed. You know, obviously veils back in Greek times, they were very, you know, that's what women used to close themselves off, you know, so they were respected within the community, but now they've thrown themselves off, they're vulnerable, so they're exposed. Sexual undertones here. Right, Nausicaa then, she is compared to White Arm. Now, White Arm is very interesting because the use of this, you know, stock compound epithet, another stock epithet here. Why do you think having pale skin would be important for a Greek? Especially as a sign of beauty. Well, it's because as having pale skin suggests that you have not worked much. That means you have had other people doing work for you, so showing a sign of your prosperity. Again, that's very important because she's a white arm person. And also, the idea in line 101, yep, Malthus is some sort of game, you know, and some scholars believe that this ball game involves dance, song, and it's also important that Nausicaa leads the game. She is the girl of a higher social status than everyone else. No one else really has that same status of her. She has the highest. You don't go above Nausicaa. She's a princess, and she leads it just as Artemis does. This whole thing is so important because it's one of the best similes that, likenesses that Homer draws upon. So, I mean, let's have a look at the points of why the comparison is. There's the beauty, God, this god of Artemis is very beautiful, known for her beauty. So is Nausicaa. She's also hunted by suitors. Well, it's a converse relationship. Artemis usually hunts, and she's being hunted. So again, there's a converse relationship. And they're both virgins. She's of marriageable age now, so she's a virgin, and Artemis is also the virgin god. So that's important. Also, the use of the mountains Taygetus and Erymanthus. They are mountains in Greece, so effectively they are quite important. Taygetus is in Laconia and Erymanthus is in Arcadia, sorry. I don't know why I said that. Yep, so emphatic position, anything else? I'm not sure if there are any more emphatic positions as such. No, the next word in the extract, which we're not going to be analysing in this video, but is terpomene, is, that's quite important. That's in emphatic position, so showing Nausicaa is relaxed, although it's a description of Artemis, again showing the similarity. I don't think there's much else. Again, this is talking about the prosperity of Nausicaa, her ideals. Let me just see through my notes and see if there's any sort of questions that could come up from the passage that we've just done. So, obviously, if you've seen my previous video on the first bit, you will know that I'm analysing the area where she addresses her father. There is quite an interesting question on that. Well, it's relatively easy if you've learnt it and if you've analysed it properly. It's a relatively easy question. So what it is basically talking about is Nausicaa persuading her father to let her travel down to the coast, and basically going on about how Nausicaa's speech to her father is persuasive, so you may want to consider how she flatters her father and the reason she states for wanting to go to the beach. So I'll put that question, fully in the description below, and if you want to have a go at that, you can have a go at that. And I'll try and go over it in the next video if I can. If not, I'll put some of my pointers in the description below as well, what I think would be a good answer for that. Yeah, so again, that's lines 57 to 65, so you can go on to, online and find a few extracts from the Greek. I think the one I'm getting from is from Perseus, www.perseus.tufts.edu. So if you can see the hyperlink that I've just highlighted, that one. And also, if you're wondering, the first and last words, the first one's Papa, and the last one is Mem Helen. And the question is, how is Nausicaa's speech to her father persuasive? And your answer you may wish to consider: number 1, how she flatters her father, so how she flatters him. Number 2, the reason she states for wanting to go to the beach. So there's loads you can talk about there, her colloquial talk, sense how she, says that he's deliberating the first citizens for the first class. The reasons, again, her brothers, and she's emphasising how he's good, how he's very prosperous because he's had children, how she's becoming mature, caring about others, how she wants them to have a happy life and have a good life, all that. You should refer to the Greek, it says, and discuss a range of stylistic features such as choice, sound, and position of words. I think that's pretty much everything. Yep, so thanks for listening to this. Again, please subscribe if you want to see more of these kind of videos, especially in, in other subjects. I'm planning to do others for sciences like more of biology, chemistry, physics for next year's GCSEs, and RS, and also some music if I can. I'll also try and do some language stuff with German, Latin, and more classical Greek. A lot more focus on grammar, but hopefully you find this useful for Wednesday's examination. I'll try and get another one up of the next few extracts, especially where Odyssey actually comes into this. But you know, you should be able to analyse, of your own speed, and you should be able to do some analysis in the exam if you can. If you've completely run out of ideas and you understand the text, you can technically do analysis in the exam, but you should come prepared really. The main thing is just to learn the translations really well. If you learn the translations, it makes your life a lot easier, and bags those 5 marks. You know you've got 5 marks in the bag already. And a few others, a few of the questions will be like, what happens here, you know you've got those marks as well. The descriptive analysis ones, analytical ones, you probably want to learn how to analyse, because then in the exam, if they give you a completely random passage on this and you've not learned anything about it, you'll be able to analyse it really well, just learning how to analyse, learning the main things that come up, choice of words, emphatic positions, stock epithets, things like that. Just chuck in, those technical terms, everything that home uses, and you'll be fine, completely fine. Yeah, thank you for listening, and please do subscribe for more videos.